Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's discussion where we talk about Google Drawings and what that looks like in the teaching and learning process for our students. So we're going to look first at the ISTE standards affiliated with this particular module for this week. So for students, we have 6B, students create original works or responsibly repurpose or remix digital resources into new creations. And 6C, students communicate complex ideas clearly and effectively by creating or using a variety of digital objects such as visualizations, models, and simulations. And then lastly, ISTE standards for teachers or educators. Design authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active, deep learning. And some of this is student creation, and some of this is teacher-created content that we give to our students, have them visualize things, rearrange ideas, organize ideas. This all ties into the ISTE standards. So a little bit of an overview on Google Drawings. First of all, really easy to use tool. If you have a Gmail account, you already have access to Google Drawings. Fantastic opportunity for you to create diagrams, drawings, timelines, all sorts of different things that allows for the students to collaborate, not just with the content and demonstrate mastery in a wide variety of ways, but also allows for collaboration. Just like anything with Google, you can take a Google drawing and then you can go and actually have your students collaborate in real time, multiple people. So for instance, maybe you want to have them make an infographic. You can have 3 or 4 of them working together, share that with you. You can also go in and leave comments in real time. Connect ideas, use some outside resources, hyperlinks, videos, shapes, lines, text, images, all these different items that can be incorporated into making a Google drawing. How do they fit? And then lastly, most importantly, this is a perfect program for anyone, any education, major or current teacher in the field, regardless of your content area and or grade level. So now we're going to move on here and take a look at a little bit more specific items when it comes to subject areas and some of the more general uses of Google Drawings. So first of all, one of the most common uses for educators when it comes to Google Drawings is semantic mapping, organizing ideas through graphic organizers. There's a couple of examples that you can see here, mind mapping, and then some drag and drop activities. And mind mapping is very good. Maybe, for instance, you're looking at plotting out different ideas, maybe characters in a book, historical events, for instance, timelines, Venn diagrams, always really simple, really smooth. You can make them quite easily in Google Drawings, a 2-Venn, a 3-circle Venn, whatever it is that you want, T-charts, flow charts, all those can be made very easily in Google Drawings. And one of the things that's nice too is it allows us to have drag and drop activities. So for instance, here you're going to notice the term. If you have them lined up here on the right-hand side, just as text boxes, your students can actually drag them over and drop them. We'll talk more about those in a minute as well. So if you're looking at teaching English, I'm going to look pretty much at the core subjects here, a little bit of visual arts at the end. And this can really, though, apply to anybody's classroom, whether it's science, it's English, it's math. A lot of these ideas are interchangeable. So don't look at it just as your subject area, oh, this isn't going to apply to me. So we touched on this a second ago, but teaching English, maybe you want to create some sort of book character map. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like climax and all that good stuff. Oh, of course, now my brain is forgetting what it is that I want to say. Annotating text. So for instance, you want to take text, you want to copy it, you're going to drop it into your Google Drawing. And then you can have your students leave annotations in there. You can add captions to specific images if you would like them to. You can go ahead and list items about brainstorming. Maybe you want to have them dive into some sort of writing activity. This is a great opportunity for you to do that. English vocabulary, you're trying to build vocabulary even if it's not in English. You can have students drag and drop over to images related to that specific term. Teaching math, Google Drawings is a fantastic way for students to really demonstrate understanding in a variety of ways. So for instance, you could have the adding integers activity like here on the top left where students go and actually rearrange manipulatives like the number of pets option that you see here on the right as well. Students can actually show their works. Maybe for instance, you put in some mathematical problems and you want your students to be able to work on those. They can show that work utilizing the Scribble tool. If you're looking at defining, for instance, triangles, obtuse, acute, and right triangles, and you want to have the students drag and drop those specific types of triangles into the correct column, another example of how we can use Google Drawings in the math classroom. For science, this is fantastic if you're looking at digital modeling, making scientific drawings, DNA sequencing, Life cycles are very good. Identification, for instance, maybe you're doing a unit on earth science and you want to have your students identify the layers of the earth's crust or surface or all that good stuff. Taught social studies, so forgive me. But that's another option there as well that you can have for teaching science. So again, similar activities really to other content areas, but we kind of manipulate it to what it is that we would like it to be. Teaching social studies, fantastic for making timelines of historical events. It can be words, it can be images that the students put in there. You can hyperlink to the specific event. You can have them do that. Drag and drop activities are fantastic. I always go back to when we were doing any type of map activity. You can just simply go ahead and drop in an image of a state or a country or a region, whatever it is that you happen to be studying at that particular time in your course or in your class. Give your students directions, and they can actually take these terms or symbols, whatever it is that you want to put in here, and they can drop them on the specific location on the map that you're looking for. And then lastly, if you want, maybe you can have your students, you provide them with some sort of template for a social media page, for instance, maybe an Instagram page or a Facebook page, a template that you provide them, and then they go and actually create some sort of social media profile for a historical figure related to the content in your class. Gamification, this is also a really nice way to integrate Google Drawings. You can create games in there, chess, checkers, other games as well. If you're looking for, especially for younger students, we're looking to kind of just give them something to do, maybe even if students finish early. Excellent for problem solving, critical thinking development, getting that gamification element in there really makes it a little bit more engaging for your students. As you can see here, some examples of badges as well to give out to them. Just a little bit way to kind of show them your recognition and have them working toward something. And then lastly here, I just wanted to mention integrating visual arts. This one specifically really does apply across the board and can be used regardless of age or content area in which you're teaching. So when we look at the ability in Google Drawings with the curve and polyline tools, you can have students make self-portraits. You can have them make a mosaic like this one here on the left. Have them create pop art. So maybe you're studying the 1960s in social studies class, and you can have them make some sort of pop art like an Andy Warhol replica, for instance. Looking at magazines, newspapers, covers, students can make those. They can make memes, comic strips. All these are available within Google Drawings. Infographics like you see here on the right-hand side. Again, it's things that can cross over between content areas and age levels. They really are irrelevant. So as we wrap up this brief discussion about Google Drawings and ways in which we can incorporate it into our teaching, the question I would like to leave you with is, how will you use Google Drawings in the teaching and learning process for your grade level, your content area, resources available? So as you think about that, I really want you to take the time. There's going to be lots of good templates that are available online for Google Drawings that you can take and just basically copy them and use them. But how will you use it to reach and maximize each one of your students' success and capabilities in that classroom? How will you make the Google Drawing, the semantic map, the graphic organizer, the T-chart, whatever specific way you choose to utilize Google Drawings, how is it going to benefit your students and be connected to your content? So thanks very much for sticking around for this short lecture on Google Drawings. Hopefully you found some new tips and tricks which you can use in your classroom.